Hey there, welcome back to the podcast. It is the end of January and just excited to be coming to you guys and touching base. Lots of exciting things in the works. On a personal note, just got home from a weekend away in Oregon with my husband and oldest son doing some college visits. So very exciting. Would love any feedback or tips from any seasoned parents or guardians out there who have gone through this before. We are knee deep in figuring out the college situation for him. Very exciting, had a great trip, and now we are back. So, wanted to hop in, and I've been having fun recording these podcasts on Monday after our coffee with Katie, and then we get them edited, uploaded on Tuesday. So, for those of you listening to this on Tuesday or later, whenever you're listening to this, I'm excited to have you here. And I wanted to talk about what we talked about today on Coffee with Katie. So, Coffee with Katie, for those of you who don't know, is our weekly show. We do a weekly training we do with our Get Social Smart Academy members, where we come on, we do training, we do teaching. Today was a little bit different, though. We did a community Zoom, an Ask Me Anything Zoom. And this is something in the past we've done just hit or miss, but one of the things we're being really intentional about in 2026 is community. And I have to say, one of the best parts of our Get Social Smart Academy is our community family, our community that we have of agents and brokers literally all over the world. We are really making an effort to do more of these. The goal is to do these probably every 4 to 6 weeks in the new year. So I just thought I would come here and give you a little sneak peek into what that was all about and some of the things that we talked about today. Because part of what we do on Coffee with Katie, especially in this community Zoom, is it's an opportunity for people to share something that's working, something that they're doing that is really helping their business when it comes to social media or email marketing or content or video. And there's also a way to get their questions answered. So this episode is just going to be a hodgepodge of some of the high points that we covered today. And the call, like I said, just want to give you a sneak peek. As always, if you are interested in our Get Social Smart Academy, we would love to have you join the Academy family. You can go to katielance.com/academy to get signed up. You can sign up monthly or yearly. And as a member, you get access to our full weekly 1-hour Coffee with Katie's, our monthly masterclasses, our content calendars, our Canva templates, and of course, our amazing community. All right, so let's dig in. One of the first things we talked about today was just some of my thoughts for 2026 being the year of the niche. And this is something I've talked about here on the podcast before and other places on social media. I really think one of the ways to really stand out in social and content is to two things: lean into who you are and who you're not. Really be intentional with the content you're putting out for your niche, being really specific, especially if you're in real estate, specific in the words you use, specific in your tone and how you come across. We don't need to share more information. We have enough information coming out of our everywhere, Google, ChatGPT. So really leaning into your expertise, leaning into specifically neighborhoods, and you, again, specifically your niche, right? Also sharing your niches outside of real estate. So, if you like to travel or family or pets or sports, whatever that might be, we do business with people we know can trust and relate to. And that's a huge way to build that relatability. Some of the things that we are really seeing work right now, I had a few people ask me, what are some of the things that we're seeing that are working really well? And I would say, especially if you are in the real estate industry, but this applies to anybody if you are using social media for business, is to really share less, I would say, facts and figures. And facts and figures are fine, but if you can incorporate storytelling at all into your content, giving an opinion, sharing a hot take, hey, you might say, hey, this might be controversial to say, but here's how I really think about X, Y, and Z, or hey, here's what's happening in the market, but let me tell you exactly what that means. If you can take facts and then break that down and do that in a more storytelling way, I think you're really going to resonate with people. And a quick example I gave is, instead of just listed, just sold in terms of graphics, is there a way to share a little bit more of the backstory? Hey, I had an opportunity to work with this amazing family and we worked together for 45 days and this was their challenge and this is what we were able to accomplish. Or, oh gosh, I've known this family for 10 years and we did this and then this happened. And taking people along and sharing the journey, I think, is really powerful versus more facts and figures. A couple other things that we talked about. We had a few folks talk about one of the ways that they come up with content ideas quickly and easily is oftentimes, again, they're looking at their life as content. Maybe they're reading through emails and taking content, uploading it to ChatGPT, and then using that as inspiration, and not copying and pasting, but using that as inspiration for, hey, I read this. How can I put this more into my voice, my opinion? How can I take this email newsletter and turn this into a great piece of content? and reference back the original source. It's not necessarily coming up with ideas from scratch, which I think is great. We all see lots of content and information in emails, and I thought that was a great tip one of our members shared. We also talked a little bit about attracting local followers. We had, and actually just to backstep a second, when I was talking about storytelling, Lee Bofast, who's awesome, he's on Instagram. He does a great job of storytelling. So he's a great one to follow on Instagram about that. But we had another member, Joe Mendez. He's a realtor in Long Beach. And he was saying he's having a little bit of a challenge attracting people specifically to his area. And so we talked a little bit about the content he's putting out, making sure he's using the words Long Beach in his content and his videos and his captions, but also being really intentional about not just liking and following local businesses, but really leaving meaningful comments. And I think this is a huge tip for anybody. When you leave a comment that is a sentence or two on Instagram, you are going to stand out. And not only are you going to, not only is the business going to see it, but other people who follow that business, like your potential customers. So if you are a realtor and you're connecting, you're following your favorite restaurants, your local Little League, you're following your Rotary Club, like you're following organizations or companies that are important to you, even like local radio stations or local newspapers. If you can be the one who intentionally is like leaving comments, not spamming, but like leaving helpful comments, again, people are going to see that. So that's a great way to attract local people to you, which is something I think is really important. A couple other things we talked, of course, about repurposing. This is something that I'm, is like near and dear to my heart. So we have a couple of our Academy members who are really looking at posts that they've already done and how can they repurpose them? How can you take a carousel that you posted a year ago and turn that into a reel? Or if you had a reel that did really well, turn that into a carousel, right? So it's not set it and forget it, but look at content that you already put out there. And is there an opportunity to repurpose that, which I think is really cool. What else? I'm just kind of looking through some of my notes here. But we also had quite a number of people having some tech frustrations, which, I love technology, but I love technology until technology doesn't work, right? I think we're all that way. So we had a lot of folks vent frustrations with Meta or Google, things not working, things not showing up, or things not appearing. And I would say that's definitely frustrating. Each platform, if you've ever had any frustration or issue, obviously you want to try to go through the help menus. There's always forms to try to fill out. This is also something that is really helpful to use ChatGPT for. I have often taken screenshots of problems or issues and uploaded them to ChatGPT to get direction on where to go, what forms to fill out, who to contact. And it's annoying for sure. But on the flip side, it's one of the reasons why I always say, and I know I sound like a broken record, but that's why I always say social media is rented ground. We don't own it. I just think, especially nowadays, like a lot of people are just feeling a little overwhelmed with social media in general, especially with everything going on in the world. It's just a lot. There's a lot happening. And when that happens, it's important that you've also cultivated an email list. I always think it's important to drive people to your email list and then to send an email newsletter, even if it's just once a month where you're sending helpful tips, helpful information. Ideally, it's something that you've created. It's in your voice. Doesn't have to be overly complicated. Simple is good, right? Done is better than perfect. We have to take control of that. We also talk a little bit about LinkedIn, because LinkedIn, if people aren't on other platforms that they have stepped away from social media, a lot of times they're still on LinkedIn. You can use LinkedIn to send out email newsletters to people directly on LinkedIn. So lots of big opportunities, which is really cool. What else are some of the things we talked about? We also had some questions around scheduling content. It's funny. I go back and forth with scheduling. I do schedule some things, but I also like to post organically in the moment. And one of the ways I do that is I actually batch create a lot of content. So we batch 4 or 5 videos all in one batch. I edit them. I upload them as a draft. I even write out the whole caption. And so when I'm ready to post it, I'm ready to just hit post and go. And I feel like this is like the best of both worlds. So you could have a content calendar, you can have a plan. But again, especially with everything happening in the world, things come up, things change. You might wake up and go, gosh, I don't really think I should post this today. That's just, I don't want to be tone deaf, right? So having some options. And also when you give your future self the gift of your content, you've got content in the can, right? Things come up, you're traveling, someone gets sick, you're ready to go. So you can schedule through, of course, Meta or directly through Instagram. There's other platforms that you can do as well. But I personally have been just creating a lot of content, putting it in drafts, and then posting it when you're ready to go. So anyways, those are just a few highlights of some of the big things we talked about. We were on a Zoom for an hour, so there was a lot of stuff that came up But I wanted to just share some of the highlights there. I'm just scrolling through my notes here. One other quick thing I'll mention really fast too is we have a few people who mentioned how valuable it is to have like a reoccurring theme with your content. And I thought that was really interesting. We've done that over the years, and I've seen some of our Academy family do that. We have one member that does, I think it's something like, did you know on a Monday? Or did you know? And it's a post that she posts every Monday. Did you know this? Did you know that? And so when you can get yourself into a routine of a certain type of content that you do on a regular basis, your followers notice it, right? It's a small, tiny way to stand out, but it's also a great thing for you because it just helps to be consistent. So anyway, just a few thoughts, just a few tips. Would love to hear from you. Would love to hear your thoughts. I would love to actually hear from you to hear what's working right now in terms of social media or content or email marketing. If you're listening to this on the podcast, feel free to reach out to me on Instagram and DM me. Would absolutely love your feedback. If you're listening to this on YouTube, you can comment in the comments below and would love your feedback also. And then, like I said, if you would to work with us, if you'd like to go deeper into some of these things we're talking about, I would love to have you join our Get Social Smart Academy. You can go to katielance.com/academy, get signed up. You can sign up monthly or yearly. And again, you get access to our deep dive training every week, our master classes, our entire library. We have a library that goes back for the past year, all different types of training you can always access. Content calendars, Canva templates. In fact, we just released our February content calendar, which is exciting. So lots of good stuff in the works. Next month in February, we're focused on Instagram. So every month in the Academy, we have a different theme. This month in January has been all about a strategy. And if you go back to just our podcast episodes this month, we've talked a lot about strategy planning. We had an episode a week or two ago talking about Google Sheets and content organization. So anyways, we are going to continue this format in 2026, where we do our deep dives with Coffee with Katie, and then we'll come here on the podcast and do a little snippet just to give you a little taste of what it's all about. Let me know how you like the format. I would imagine later in the year we'll be doing some longer form podcast episodes. I would love to get back to doing some more interviews with some folks. So that's the plan. The last couple of things, I am getting ready. I've got a couple trips coming up. I'm heading to Portland. I know I was just in Portland, but I'm heading back to Portland. I'm speaking at a great event for a amazing title company. So I hope to see some of you there if you are in that area. And then I will be speaking at Inman, New York, in New York City, coming up at the beginning of February. So if you will be there too, please let me know. We'd love to connect with you at Connect. It's going to be awesome. And if you are looking for a speaker for your event, we'd love to chat. We are actively booking our schedule out. It is quickly filling up, which is amazing. But if you're looking for a speaker or a trainer for your agents, we do in-person speaking. We do a ton of virtual stuff through Zoom. So feel free to reach out. You can always go to katielance.com/speaking to see my topics that we're doing for 2026 and our fees and all that good stuff. All right, my friends, have a wonderful rest of your day, of your week. Please connect with me on Instagram. If you like this podcast, one of the best things you can do is leave us a 5-star review wherever you are listening. All right, my friends, have a great day. We'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.